The best arc in sports manga that I've ever read is the Tokyo Nationals arc from Haikyuu. Now, I recently read Haikyuu and recently just finished this arc, so I decided to make a video on this arc, summarizing why I like it so much. Anyways, if you guys like this type of content, please remember to hit that like and subscribe button. Without further ado, let's get right into this. The first thing I need to talk about when I talk about this arc is the buildup of this arc. This arc is quite literally the biggest arc of this series up until this point, and it has been built up since the very beginning chapters of Haikyuu, when all the characters claim that they want to make it to Nationals. Nationals is always mentioned time and time again because people always look at Nationals like it's the god tournament of all tournaments in high school volleyball, which is what makes the stakes super high that we need to get to Nationals. Now, even before we get to Nationals, we play a team called Shiratorizawa. Now, the Shiratorizawa match in this point of the series, I think, is the best match in the series. No, bar none. Like, no matter what, it is the best match. And that match was a difficult match to get through. So it really builds up Nationals even more, showing that, bro, even Shiratorizawa, a team like that, we're probably going to have to play every game of the Nationals, which is exactly why I think the Tokyo Nationals arc is one of the best written arcs in all of not just sports anime, but the best written arcs in all of anime. Now, right after the Shiratorizawa game, we get a training arc right before that. A whole ball boy arc where Hinata learns how to receive and trains with other good players. Meanwhile, Kageyama goes to this national training camp that he was invited to, and he meets some new players that we're eventually going to see in the Nationals arc. And I feel like this arc does a really good job in building up the next arc, where it builds up some of the players we're going to see. And the biggest surprise here is a player named Hoshiumi. Now, Hoshiumi is a big factor for why I like this arc so much, is because up to this point, someone as short as Hinata was never playing against him. Everyone was always taller than him, and everyone was always slightly better than him in some areas. Although Hoshiumi is the first short player, just like Hinata, that we see who can also jump really high. In fact, he can't just jump really high. A scene that I really like from the Nationals arc is exactly when Hinata, after finishing their first game at Nationals, goes over to see Hoshiumi's game. And we can see this guy, the same height as Hinata, getting blocks, getting perfect receives, setting it up, and spiking it over 3 defenders. This really goes to show the difference between our tiny giant and an actual tiny giant, where it makes me hyped so much because I'm waiting to see a battle between these two, and I'm waiting to see how Hinata will progress in the coming games to eventually be able to face this guy one-on-one. Hoshiumi does a great job at instilling fear in us, the readers, in this scene, because when I read this first scene, I was dead ass just like, how are we going to play against this guy if we end up matching up against him? But that's not all. After this, we end up playing the tournament favorites of the entire Nationals, and that is Inarizaki. Now, the reason why the Nationals is one of my favorite arcs of all time and my favorite arc in sports anime in general is because I love this stretch of matches. Every 3 matches that I'm about to list, from Inarizaki game to the Nekoma game to the Kamomedai game, are all 10 out of 10 matches. Now, I know this might sound like a stretch to some people, but I kid you not that these games are quite literally the pinnacle of sports anime for me. I haven't seen any games that I think are better than these in a row, too. Starting off with the Inarizaki match, we can initially see that they are the favorites to win the Nationals, which automatically puts my tension super, super high. But you know what makes it even crazier about Inarizaki? The thing about Inarizaki that I really was scared of, and I think that really made this match unique and stand out from the others in Haikyuu, is Inarizaki is a team just like Karasuno, basically. They have their own monster duo in the Mia twins, but they also have good pieces around them to move. They're not just like Ushiwaka, a one-man team, or Aoba Josai, who's also basically a one-man team. This team has multiple pieces that they can use to win, just like Karasuno does, which made this game very interesting. Another unique thing I really liked about this game is how the crowd chanting really played effect in the players' serves, and it could get in people's heads. The whole music in this game was amazing, but something I also really liked was the ending to this match. The ending to this match is just like the ending to Karasuno versus Aoba Josai number 1, where Kageyama sets the ball to Hinata for the winning play, but Oikawa ended up predicting it and set up a triple block right there and then, so Hinata would hit the triple block and lose. A similar situation happens in the Inarizaki match, where Inarizaki are going the offensive, and basically Kageyama and Hinata predict that they're about to use this insane quick that they are able to do just like Hinata and Kageyama. They use it for the game point, and Hinata and Kageyama predict it and are able to block it together to get the final point. It's an amazing parallel, and I think a great showcase to how far these characters have come and how much they've grown in such a short time. The Inarizaki game was a great match, and I rated it an exact 10 out of 10. The best match in the series so far for me. The next match is the most built up match throughout the entire series. I mean, this match has been built up since the start of the series all the way to this point. And of course, it's Nekoma versus Karasuno. Now, just like Karasuno is, Nekoma is a team that specifically specializes in its defense, and Karasuno really struggles against teams like that, which we'll see in this match. But the thing about Karasuno and Nekoma now is that since Karasuno beat Inarizaki, everyone really doesn't care about Nekoma anymore. Like, everyone's just like, okay, they're just writing them off because Karasuno just knocked out the tournament favorites, and nobody really thinks that Nekoma is going to even stand a chance against them. And I think this is the first time we actually see Karasuno in the seat where, wow, like, they're not the underdogs, you know? In the eyes of the people, they think that this is going to be an easy game that Karasuno is going to win. Oh, were they wrong? Everything about this game screams end-to-end rivalry. Offense versus defense, ground versus air. Like, everything about this game brings you tension simply because of the fact that, oh my gosh, Nekoma is a team that's beaten us multiple times in the past, and as it's stated, Karasuno has never taken a set off of Nekoma in any practice game. And also on top of that, what builds onto this rivalry is just the history behind it. Before this game, we get a flashback of both of the coaches when they first played against each other and their dynamic and why they even started this rivalry in the first place. I think it really characterizes this rivalry as the battle between ground and air, as we see in the middle of the game, where Karasuno is really struggling against Nekoma. And I really love the dynamic between Kenma and Hinata here. You know, how Kenma is able to stop him and completely put Hinata in a jail, but Hinata is able to fly out of it. It was just such a beautiful moment. I think one of my favorite moments in the series up to that point in this game. The final set of this match really made me go jawless and just be like amazed at what I was looking at, because this game was more than just a simple game of volleyball. We can see it evolve into something that just has so many people on the court just having so much fun. You can just see the joy on everyone's faces with every receive, every spike, every block. Everything just looks so fun. And I think that's why I love the ending of this match so much, because not only is it the end of the rivalry, but this is just a super fun and tension-full volleyball match between two teams that aren't exactly really only rivals, but they're also friends. You know, the dynamic between teacher and student with Tsukishima and Kuro was really good as well. But overall, yeah, I really like the conclusion of this Nekoma game, and Kenma's conclusion as a character overall as well. The next thing I want to talk about, though, is the final match of this arc. Now, right before the final match, the author really bamboozles us and shows us the tiny giant that Hinata has been chasing this entire time. And I really like this scene because the author really makes you feel like Hinata does in this scene, because you guys are both very excited to see who this hyped up tiny giant player really is. And once we see him, I feel like the author makes us feel the same way Hinata does. When he first lays eyes on him and the tiny giant tells him, yeah, I just quit volleyball right after I got out of high school. I don't do anything crazy with volleyball anymore. It really hits us, the reader, just like how it hits Hinata, like, damn, like, maybe he wasn't that good after all, you know what I mean? Maybe we're just putting him on a pedestal this entire time. And I think just like Hinata, it's just like we're not disappointed because we're about to go into a match. It's just like, okay, I'm okay with this result, you know? I'm okay with this. And this is the start of Hinata's great development I really like in this match, and just the overall amazingness of this Kamomedai match, because just like Nekoma, Kamomedai are a team that Karasuno absolutely hate playing. They're literally a maximized version of Date Tech with offense. I think one major problem Date Tech had was they had absolutely no offense. Now, you could say a good defense could be the best offense, but In Kamomedai's case, they had one of the best defenses, or the best defense we've seen in the entire series, with some of the best offense we've seen in the entire series with their serves and just Hoshiumi in general. The tension and stakes at this match were absolutely amazing from start to finish. Every single spike serve that Hoshiumi or Hinata did, I was getting hype. Tell me why I was nervous for Karasuno going into this game. This game was fucking amazing from start to finish. The first set focuses really around Kamomedai's defense and how adapted they really are. The second set shows how Karasuno's able to overcome that, and Hinata, how much he's changed as a player, really receiving now, being able to use both hands, being able to adjust his sets, being able to adjust his run. Hinata has really become into a formidable opponent for this team in just such a short time. Hoshiumi was also no pushover either, because in this match, they really go a far way to specify how these two are maybe two short players, but how they both really move in different ways. Hinata being used as the greatest decoy, where he actually accepts that, yes, now the greatest decoy term for him really sounds cool after seeing it firsthand against a great defensive team. And finally letting go of his, I guess, obsession with the tiny giant and finally becoming his own person. You know what I mean? Building his own legacy instead of trying to become someone else. I really like that development from Hinata. Even though I've listed all the great things that happened in this match, none of them are my favorite. Actually, my favorite and most devastating moment that happens in these matches is, let me set the stage for you. It's the third set. It's 13-13. Neither team has momentum, and whoever gets this tough rally to win it is going to get momentum and eventually maybe go on to win on the set. So, Tsukishima spikes the ball over, where Hoshiumi makes a tough dig and digs the ball up. They set the ball back and spike it back, but Hinata is now there to dig the ball back. He then asks Kageyama for a back set and spikes the ball back over 3 defenders for Karasuno to take the lead. This was an amazing scene. I was so hyped while watching it and reading it, but then everything comes crawling down for Karasuno. Just then, after his spike, Hinata collapses to the floor, and it's revealed to us that Hinata has been playing with a fever and just been running off of pure adrenaline this entire time. Hinata won't be able to continue to play in this game, and Tsukishima also gets injured during this game as well. So the third set is eventually lost, and Karasuno are eliminated from the tournament. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. A lot of people might read this and be like, wow, how do you think that's good? It just seems like a cop-out. In my opinion, what I really love about haikyuu is just the unpredictable nature of the series in general. A lot of people came in here and expected Karasuno to go and win Nationals first year of Hinata and Kageyama. But I feel like them not winning Nationals, even in their third year, second year, and first year, really makes it realistic. Think about it. There's a lot of teams at Nationals. There's only one of them that could win it. And a lot of factors can play into them winning it. Injuries, sickness, stuff like this happens in sports. It's such a realistic depiction of sports in general that I really love it. In fact, I think this quote from this one person watching the game really sums it up very well. None of this year's top 3 hitters made it past the quarterfinals. Oh goodness, Itachiyama lost. What a pity for Sakusa. Yes, I would have loved to see more of his play, but you know, the hundreds of players participating in this tournament, there's one experience they all share. That's losing. No one makes it this far without tasting defeat. But even for the one lucky team that escapes the bitter experience this time and wins this tournament, they'll lose to another better team eventually. No matter how high you climb, there's always a better team. It's only those brave enough, those bold enough to follow the difficult, demanding path of competition, who have the right to reap the wealth of experience and memories it can bring. For today, you happen to be defeated, but what will you become tomorrow? I think this quote completely and perfectly summarizes the entire series of haikyuu up to this point, and this arc in general. I really love just how it summarizes everything that happens throughout this arc, and even in the Kamomedai match's ending. There's a reason why this is my favorite quote in the entire manga, and my favorite scene in the entire manga. Though some people might call it a cop-out and a bad conclusion. I love it because it's such a spontaneous and realistic depiction of sports. And this quote really summarizes and gives us the steps and cheat code from how to move forward from this point on. With the arc concluding on a quote like this became my favorite sports anime arc of all time. And not only that, it is my top 5 for my top 5 favorite anime arcs of all time. If you guys want me to make another video on that, please remember to leave it down below in the comments. If you guys like this type of video, please remember to hit the like and subscribe. If you guys want me to make more haikyuu videos, let me know down below in the comments. And yeah, man, I hope you guys all have a great day. And what is your favorite sports arc of all time?